So my name is Chris Brodesen. I joined EisnerAmper about a month ago to be the managing director of the blockchain and digital asset space. It's a little bit different than Jason here. He's the actual tech guy. I'm the business guy. And so the travel gods had another idea for this session, obviously, because my panelists weren't able to make it. We were going to talk about governance, which we can do because I did a lot of that work at Deloitte. Prior to joining Eisner, I was at Deloitte. I was a blockchain lab lead. Prior to that, I was at Accenture. Prior to that, I spent, or I should say, I wasted 20 years on Wall Street, or maybe more. But what we thought we would do is sort of share some ideas, have a kind of a round robin. I'll kick it off. So Eisner has hired me really to help them build out their business. And that is across a bunch of different things. From a service perspective, currently we're offering accounting, outsourcing and CFO services, tax prep, financial statement prep, and advisory. So think of, just plain old consulting. The one area where we're not playing yet, although I can see this changing, is in the audit and assurance space. As that grows, and I think as we get more clarity from a regulatory perspective and maybe from the accounting bodies, we'll start to see that. We also plan to support the community in a much bigger way. We're now actively involved with the Wall Street Blockchain Alliance, as well as AMA, if you're familiar with those groups. We plan to do a lot more of these types of events, and we plan to build out our capabilities so that we can expand our services in the areas that I mentioned. Really, it's a matter of understanding, and this is just one man's opinion, that we are today with this technology, this Web3, where we were really at the beginning of the internet. We don't know what's going to happen, but we know it's going to be big, and we feel like we need to be prepared. So what I'd like you to do is, anybody that wants to come up, tell us a little bit about what you're doing. Love to have some of your background, and if you have a superpower, tell me what it is. Any takers?
Thank you. Hi, I am Bar, aka Barman of NFTPhilly. Superpower is flying. I was just kidding. I was gonna say like a few words, but mostly just like grateful that we have these speakers come up and people. You guys are some of literally some of the smartest people I know. And some of the biggest projects, not only Philadelphia, but the world. That's how they're speaking. So I think that's great. Super grateful that you guys come up here and do this for free. And we can't have these kind of events without people showing up and volunteering their time and everything like that. So very grateful for that. Yeah, that was pretty much it. So we run NFTPhilly, me and Tyrone. We try to have these events pretty regularly. Sometimes our events are at night, a little party atmosphere. Sometimes they're during the day. And thank you, EisnerAmper, especially for hosting us for the second time, and Joey, and Eric, and Jason for helping organize. So this has been great. Yeah, that's pretty much it. The way this works, if anybody wants to come up and just even if you don't do anything, you just want to say, hey, I trade JPEGs. You can just come up and say that. But it's a good way to introduce one person to the whole crowd, if you're not on a panel or anything. So if you just want to come up and talk about yourself for a minute, come on up.
Go ahead, Nick, come on.
Hello everyone, I'm Steph McCurdy. I'm here from Wolfram Blockchain Labs. I work for Wolfram Research, which made software called Mathematica, and Wolfram Alpha, which a lot of people might know for assisting in their math homework over the years. But the work that we do, we've done a lot of governance work, and we do governance inside of blockchain ecosystems. One that we're focused on right now is in Cardano's ecosystem, because Cardano's trying to incentivize teams to build on their platform. And so they're giving away new funding every 3 or 4 months. A new round of funding opens up tomorrow. It's about $15 million worth of ADA. But the project it's called Project Catalyst. We've built a dashboard to follow that whole process of how proposals come in, how people vote, metrics for success, how to audit different like projects, see if they're actually returning on their intention. So there's like a whole decentralized governance process. It's really difficult because over 1,000 proposals come in and the community has to determine which ones we vote on. So we're making a tool to help make that easier for the community. But inside of Wolfram, we're kind of a research and scientific institution. And so we want to turn the knowledge, the intelligence inside of that organization and point it a bit more towards blockchain. And so I'm head of research and education in doing that, and just trying to educate people from the entire spectrum, from beginners all the way to academic researchers, to basically give them more tools and more information about blockchains. So, yeah, I'm great. I live around the corner over here. Don't really ever meet up with people inside in Philly in a crypto capacity. So thank you everyone for putting this on. This is great.
100% agree. We'd love to see more events like this in Philly. I'm Eric Schwartz. I'm head of Web3 at a law firm called Sterlington. I'm also the founder of a project, co-founder of a project called WinMint, which is an NFT and crypto exchange and launchpad. And most recently, working on a syndicate, an equity syndicate for really hot deals in Web3. A big part of the way I network and get clients on the legal services side is just introducing them to VCs. So that's kind of turned into a business of its own in an unexpected way. But if anyone's looking to source capital, always happy to talk. Decks, really love to receive them. And legal services wise, we're pretty much a one-stop shop, all things Web3, whatever you might need. So if you're looking for quick formation or just advice as to how formation should work, if you're looking to structure a really complicated project, we work with guys like EisnerAmper and their team to really help you do so in a tax beneficial type of way. Also in a way that investors can understand, because I think one part of the tokenomics discussion that I think that I wanted to hit on, like, and why I asked that question, is really around the fact that there's a model for financial returns that folks are looking at, whether it be private equity, venture capital, any kind of model. And if it's too complicated and it's not comparable to other things, that can become a real problem. And then that's why we've seen standardization in financial assets over time in every other asset class, and I think we'll see it here too. And I agree on the technological side, that's probably not the case, but there's going to be a need for folks to be able to compare apples to oranges in a way that makes sense. And right now, I think there's just no way to do that at all. So we really need to work with great advisors like EisnerAmper, like Sterlington, and make that happen. Thanks, guys.
Hi everybody, I'm Meredith. Great to be here today. I work remote, so seeing people in 3D is like a pleasure. So great to be here. So my background, I've worked in Web 3 for a couple of years. Before that, I was in Web 2, mostly in building out mobile apps. So I work in product marketing. I have over a decade of experience in that. Worked at big companies like Disney Electronic Arts, built out the mobile app program at the Gap, and then personally switched into crypto about 5 years ago, and then professionally a couple of years ago. So my last role was as head of marketing at LivePeer, which is a decentralized video infrastructure protocol. So built out everything on the demand side, the network side, a lot of community relations, investor relations, the whole gamut. And then recently, a few months ago, I kind of spun out and am now a freelance consultant. So looking and kind of active in fractional CMO and COO roles, and with a real depth in product marketing. So I would say my superpower is definitely strategy and execution, but specifically really understanding the complexity of technology and creating language around it to make it accessible for many people. All right, thank you.
Outstanding. Thank you so much. All right, now I'm gonna call our women in NFT panel up to the stage. Ladies.